Great rewards don't wait, so why should you? Through the Invigor Book and Buy Grower program, you could earn a $30 per bag rebate when you book all of your Invigor hybrid canola by November 14th. Talk to your retailer. Terms and conditions apply.
Let's talk markets here today on Real Ag Radio. We're joined right now by Chip Flory, host of AgriTalk. Hey, Chip, how are we doing?
I'm doing good, Haney. How about you, man?
I'm doing pretty good. Minor setback for my Arizona State Sun Devils against Mississippi State a week ago. We rebounded versus Texas State. Iowa State is just undefeated, straight ahead.
Well, yeah, and thankful that we've got a break coming up this weekend. And hey, that Mississippi State game, how do you even prepare for that?
I don't know
for that noise.
Cowbells are just.
I've got some friends that are Dogs fans.
Yeah,
and it's just unfair. It's unfair to do that.
Tell me you're in ag school without telling me you're in ag school. It's those bloody cowbells those Bulldog fans are rolling with. Let me tell you.
Unbelievable.
Hey, just a heads up. I'm going to be in Ames for ASU versus the Cyclones coming up at the end of beginning of November.
Beginning of November.
Yeah. Look out.
You're starting to bite into my hunting seasons, but I might have to see if I can do that.
Good stuff. Well, hey, Chip, let's talk markets here. Late last week, USDA revised the corn acre up. I guess I know we've been kind of going back and forth with text. Where are these corn acres coming from?
There are some analysts believe that there was some double counting that happened on these acres, similar to what we saw in 2019 with some phantom acres because of prevent plant acres in the east. And then growers came back and planted a forage crop of corn. And so maybe those acres got counted twice. I don't think you can do it on enough to get us up to 98.7 million planted corn acres. That's a big number, and so much of the increase was not in the eastern belt. It was in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and when you go back to the August crop production report, the increase in acres came in Kansas, Nebraska, South Dakota, and you know what? I got to include Iowa in the September acreage adjustment. It's in areas where if the certification process should catch it. So I get it that you want to doubt the 98.7. And if that is the case, then we're not going to see 90 million acres harvested. We'll see something closer to 89 million acres harvested if there was some double counting. They'll just give us a lower harvested acreage percentage. But that's something that we're going to have to wait on. That'll be in the January annual production summary, or even the September 1, 2026 grain stocks report. We might have to wait that long to get a final number on it, Sean.
Yeah. Well, with that comes opportunity, right? Depending on which side of the trade you're on. And, it's just interesting. Like in August, it's all like, where are the acres going to be? Where's the yield? Mainly a lot of attention to yield leading into, of course, the Pro Farmer Crop Tour. But now it seems like we had the race to the top where how high could yield go? And now we're pushing on, well, how low could yield be on corn? And you're hearing a wide swath of numbers.
The race to the top, the leader on the way,
I know,
is starting to lead us to the downside. Okay. Arlen Suderman, StoneX Group. And I want to emphasize, everybody calls it Arlen's survey at StoneX Group. It's not Arlen's survey. He doesn't do the survey. He's the one that puts some analysis on it. There's another division there at the StoneX Group that does that survey. So Arlen, all he's doing is taking the number and putting his analysis on it. So with that said, that StoneX survey led the way to the upside. And I had Arlen on the show yesterday, and I asked him. I said, okay, so I'll I'm a little hesitant to ask you, but I'll ask you, what's the downside risk on the corn yield? And he went right to 178, which is just below last year's 179.3.
Wow.
So he sees this, he sees quite a bit of downside risk on this corn number going forward.
Led by dry, hot weather, like rust. What's driving that number?
Russ,
Okay.
yeah, it's a combination of things, but when you get into the Western Belt and the big yield bites that are happening in Iowa, you got to go to the southern rust being the primary issue. But there's also northern corn leaf blight. There was also some tar spot. There was also gray leaf spot. It was just a disease ripe year for this corn crop in the middle of the country.
I was just listening to your PM show for AgriTalk. Great job as usual. And you brought up something in there that honestly I think is maybe not being discussed enough, and that's storage.
Yeah,
If we're going to have this much corn,
yeah,
and it's the thing is that I guess it's where are we going to put it all? If it is
yeah,
reality, where's it going?
yeah. I don't know. I don't know. And the thing is, we started talking about this on Crop Tour, and the big reason I'll admit, you take a look at that balance sheet and you think, geez, man, oh man, 16.8 billion bushels. That's a big corn crop. Well, yeah, it is. It's 2 billion bushels more than what we had a year ago, billion and a half more than what we had 2 years ago, and everything. Yeah, when you take what's left over from last year and combine it with this year, 18.165 billion bushels of corn. Where in the heck do you put it all? And that's why I think this basis market is really going to be in trouble once bushels start moving into commercial storage. I got a note after the show this afternoon from a producer in Northeast Iowa. He went ahead and made a sale of those priority bushels because he made a phone call to the elevator, and the elevator said, listen, if you don't take some space now, the space may not be available later.
Yeah, you know what?
And that's the reality.
That's a really good point. Being proactive on it. If you do need to sell some bushels in the fall, maybe that's lack of storage, maybe that's cash flow, whatever's driving you in that direction.
That's
Be
right.
proactive about it, and don't be shocked if you're making that call when in October and being like, "Hey, I would like to sell some corn."
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Yeah, we're all full. We're all full.
Yeah.
Another listener from this afternoon sent me a message about if you're looking at what is happening at the ethanol plants across the upper Midwest, the ethanol plants are acting like they've got enough corn to take them to the end of November, maybe the end of the year,
Wow.
when you look at their basis bids. Now, could that be because we've got more old crop stocks out there than the 1.325 that USDA has estimated? Or is it that the ethanol plants have just decided, look at this big crop that's coming, we're just going to sit back and wait? I'm not sure. But ethanol plants are acting like they've either got plenty of coverage for the rest of the year, or they're more than happy to sit back and wait.
What's it related to the corn market? Is there a thread that's not being talked about enough when we're looking at this market and this year's crop?
Yeah, cash flow issues are without a doubt a major concern, right?
Mm.
Well, what happens to our cash flow if this corn market starts going up?
Mm.
Our cash flow goes down.
Hold.
Our crop insurance premium is going down, or indemnity payment, excuse me. Crop
Yep.
insurance indemnity payment is going down. The ALC/PLC payment that you might get in October of next year on the 25 crop, it's going down. Basically, every penny that goes up right now, you're losing two.
Oh, that's fascinating.
Yeah, that's a screwed up situation to be in, isn't it? But that's where we're at. And if this was happening after October, we wouldn't worry about it. We'd be saying, let's go forward. But if this market decides that it's going to chop around until we get to October 1 and then rally through October, we're going to it's going to be a topic of conversation that our cash flow and our revenue is actually going down as the market is going up.
Yeah, I don't care if you're where you're farming. I think there's farmers also trying to sort out the 26 questions, right? In terms of, the USDA's got some forecasts. Some of the provinces of Canada have some forecasts on 26 margins, and Chip, they don't look very healthy. It's except, I've been telling audiences that, and it really gets bad in the South. Like if you get into the Southeastern Conference, if you want to organize the U.S. that way, it's not great. It is bad.
Oh yeah. Yeah, there's no question about it. The amount of financial stress that is developing out there, I think, is significant. And if the markets continue down the path that they're on right now, and it's nice that we've got some strength in the markets today. We'll see how things play out here. But if things continue down the path into 26 on those margins like you're talking about, yeah, the stress is going to only intensify going forward.
Is there too much weight being put on some sort of China deal? We're at the back end of this week. We're going to see President Xi and President Trump talk on the phone. TikTok seems to be taking up a lot of the oxygen on that talk, but Bessent was talking about they're making progress on a potential trade deal. Is that kind of the gateway to giving this market a lift, or are there other things we should be watching? What's your
those trade talks are so important for two reasons, I think. 1.685 billion bushel bean export estimate on the new crop is terrible. That is a number. Yeah, we were at 1.875, so we're losing almost 200 million bushels of demand. And there are some that are saying that we need to take another 200 million off of that. The other thing is when it comes to fertilizer production in China, everything that is happening and the conversations that are taking place have convinced China to basically shut down fertilizer trade with the U.S. And with the way fertilizer prices are right now and taking a bite out of those margins for 2026, any relief that we could get on that front would be well accepted. And I don't think that is happening until we get a deal done with China on trade.
Late Tuesday, we heard from EPA their decision on adjusting the RVOs as it applies
Did
to
we?
small.
I don't know what they're saying.
I read it. I'll be honest with you, Chip. I read it, and I was trying to understand what it said. And
well, it's because it says something and then it takes it away just like that.
Okay, I see what you mean.
Because it's saying, listen, okay, hey, we're going to look at reallocating 100% of those SREs out into 26 and 27. 100%. That's one of the things we're thinking about.
Yep.
Or 50. Or we might just do 50. Okay? Or we might not do anything.
So why put out the statement?
I don't know.
Okay.
I don't know.
It's fair enough.
The commodity groups were trying to put a positive spin on it. But I'm not too. This could turn out really good if they reallocate 100% of it, Sean. That's a good deal. That's what we need.
Yep.
But if they decide to go with a zero reallocation on those SREs, it'll be a punch in the gut.
That's bad. And for people in our audience that are listening to AgriTalk regularly, where I'm up here every Friday with Chip and Jim. We've talked about how Lee Zeldin, EPA administrator, has been very farmer friendly, which is not his modus operandi based on his history. Right. Going at zero would be a reversal from the past trend.
Yes, it would. It definitely would. And I think now talking to people in the industry, they expect that it will be either a 50 or 100. So since the zero is out there as an option, I would guess that it's going to be 50.
Okay.
On the reallocation, just reasoning there.
Good news, bad news sandwich.
Yeah.
Well, Hey, Chip, thanks a lot for joining us here today. Really appreciate it. I encourage everybody to check out AgriTalk. Chip does a great job covering everything that's going on in the world of agriculture, AM and a PM show. Chip, thanks a lot.
You bet, Sean. Thanks, buddy.
For the latest ag news, agronomic advice, and more, check out realagriculture.com and Real Ag Radio.